Yo YouTube! This is my video for Monday the 8th of July, and it's not very good weather, but I hope you get a chance to look at the lovely beautiful country that I'm in, which is Scotland. I won't do the accent, that'd be patronising. This is for yesterday. This is the following morning, and I hope that we get to look at some of the great parts of this land. Anyway, let me just tell you about what happened yesterday. It's going to be quite a short video, to be honest, because I only did one job. But here are my stats. For my average fuel price this week, it's now 14.14 pence per mile. I filled up yesterday, as in Monday. I drove 387 miles. I worked for just 9.5 hours. Got an easy day. I earned £335, 335. That's before expenses. And my fuel for the day was £54.72. So £55 effectively. And that meant that I earned after fuel £280, 280. So I'm really pleased with that. And I'll tell you how that happened. As I said, it won't be very long. I had this job booked in from last week. It was going from Melton Mowbray to Glenrothes, and it was for a medium wheelbase van going 333 loaded miles, and I bid £325, 325. It was 40 miles for me to get from home to Melton Mowbray, and I had to be there from 8 o'clock. So I left my house at 7, and it was an hour's journey. Well, I thought it was an hour's journey. It was actually a bit over an hour's journey in the end. About an hour and 10 minutes in the end. No, hour and 5 minutes. And so I made my way to Melton Mowbray and got to the trading estate, and I couldn't quite find the right building at first. I went round. If you've been there before, this trading estate on a hill. There's like a separate part of it on top of the hill, and then a longer part at the bottom of the hill. And I couldn't find it at the bottom of the hill, so I went to the top of the hill and it wasn't there. Just go all the way back down again, and eventually I found it. It wasn't awfully well signposted, but it was there in the end. So I got there, and by the time I actually pulled up and got out of my van and got to the front door, it was 8:15. And I explained that I was there to do a pickup. I gave them the reference number, and then they went off and had a look for it. And I waited in my van, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited for about 20 minutes before I rang the shipper and said, just to let you know I'm waiting. I'm not sure what's going on. I then went back in and asked them what's happening, and they said they were looking for. Well, they were going to get some paperwork sorted out. So I went to use the toilet, came back into my van after 40 minutes of waiting, and I called the shipper again and just said, "This has been over half an hour now. So can we please sort of think about waiting time?" And I asked them. The way I did it this time was I asked them, when do you start playing waiting time? And she said after an hour, and my tone of voice and my kind of indicated that she knew that I wasn't happy with that. But she said, "Well, we are a fair company, so we'll see what we get when you get loaded up. We'll see what it is then." So I said, "Fair enough, I trust you." And then went back in the van, because I really, and the reason why I feel like that is I don't like waiting for an hour for free. I think that's unfair for a van driver. I think if you're a truck driver, I'm sure it's quite standard to wait for an hour, because you've got to sort of have enforced 45-minute breaks, hour and a half breaks. So maybe you can use those while you're waiting for an hour. But for a little van driver, it's half an hour is too long to wait. But most of the time. But I'm prepared to do that. But an hour sitting around seems like a real waste of time. And it doesn't feel like you don't feel like you're getting a rest. Anyway, so in the end, I went back in and said, what's the problem? And they said that they're waiting for the paperwork, so I couldn't do anything about it. So I went back to the van, waited, and after about an hour of waiting, they began to load me up, and I was off site and finished by an hour and 6 minutes. So I rang the shipper and said, I've been there on site for an hour and 5 minutes. Can you give me some waiting time, please? And she said, I said to her, you just give me whatever's fair. I'm not going to worry about it, because obviously I wasn't expecting much from them, because this is an hour. They wanted to do an hour for free. And then she said, what do you want? And I said, well, I think £10 is fair. And she agreed to give me £10. So I thought that was fair. I mean, it's a bit under for an hour's waiting, but really, I personally think my time's worth £15 for half an hour after the half an hour free. But I'm not going to. I've learned not to do that, go that far. There's a video of mine a few months back where I remember getting quite upset about not getting £2.50 extra for waiting charge. And after that video, I thought that was a bit silly, wasn't it? Don't worry too much about those little things. So I've tried to be a bit chiller about that. So £10 I think was just a fair price. It's a round number, and it's fine. So I got that agreed, and then made my way towards Scotland. And the day yesterday, on Monday, was where I left my room was warm and sunny, and it was fresh air. It was a lovely drive. The only problem I had was I had to get some fuel, because I was pretty much empty. So I got fuel on the way up at Newark, just off the A1, and then I used the toilet there as well. And because I mentioned this because it's a long journey. I always mention this because in my mind I was trying to get there as soon as possible. So let me try. In my head, I've got these things going through my head. I'm trying to communicate them not very effectively. So the reason why I mentioned the toilet at the pickup point and then the toilet at the fuel place was, in my mind, I was thinking this is going to be. I think it was a 6-hour journey. I think. I don't remember. And I worked it out, and I thought if I go up at my usual speed of 60 miles an hour, it's going to be about an hour slower than if I go up at 70 miles an hour. And if I go up at 70 miles an hour, I'll get there around about 3:30, 4 o'clock with no stops, depending on traffic. My sat nav was saying 3:30 when I left, so let me just work that out. So I left at 10:15. So 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So it's 5.5 hours, the journey. So I had to get fuel, so there'd be a bit of a delay there. So when I got the fuel, there was about 5 hours left to go, and I thought, well, if I get up there without a break now, I might have a chance, just a chance, of getting there early enough to get another job. And if I do stop too much, and if I do go too slowly, I might end up getting to my destination after 5 o'clock, and I'd have no chance of getting a job. So it was a long shot to get a job, because I was going to the office in Scotland, so north of Edinburgh, but it's worth a try. So once I got my fuel filled up, once I used their toilet, I then just went up the motorway at 70 miles an hour, and tried to get all the way to Scotland as soon as I could. And it was a lovely journey. It was a really nice day. It sort of rained a bit, it was sunny, it had a mixture of weathers, but the roads were really quite clear. There was as always on the A1M there was congestion, so I took a diversion off the A1M, went around some country lanes, came back up and joined it where there was no traffic issues, and then carried on up. And I had a decision to make around about Newcastle, well, no, not before Newcastle, but down somewhere near Middlesbrough way, but not Middlesbrough itself, sort of level with Middlesbrough. And my sat nav was saying go cross country and up the M6 was 7 minutes quicker. And I was always planning to go up the east coast, past Newcastle, around the east coast to Edinburgh. But I just felt that time-wise, I probably should take this slightly quicker route. So I went across the A66 to the M6 and up and around that way. And in the end, I arrived on at the delivery site at 3:50. But no, I arrived there at 3:40. No, 3:50. Yeah, 3:50. But I did have one stop about an hour out of my destination to have a quick wee, and then I was off again. So I hardly stopped for that journey. So from 10:15 to 4:45, basically apart from getting fuel and one wee stop, completely just driving all the way. By the time I'd got offloaded, because I had to wait for a bit, it was 4 o'clock and I was finished, and I was in Glenrothes and looking for work. And there wasn't really much around, to be honest. I think, I'm trying to remember what happened yesterday. I got myself off the site to I was in an industrial estate, and I was thinking about where I was, and I was thinking, well, there's Kirkcaldy, there's Dundee, there's Glenrothes, there's Edinburgh, there's Perth. They would be all kind of good. Oh, there's on the coast. There's a place which I can't remember the name of. It might be on the coast. At beginning with A, I think. Oh, I've been there before. There's an army base there on the coast. So I thought it's not a bad area to be in terms of getting work in the morning. There was probably about 4 or 5 other active drivers on CX within that sort of 30-mile radius. So I thought I had a chance of getting a job. I've been on a couple of jobs, I think, if I remember correctly, but I didn't get them. And it just wasn't really pinging. I did look at the desktop, and I had a look around, and I went to 100 miles away, and there was a job from Glasgow, a job from Inverness, but stayed within Scotland. There wasn't really a lot of jobs, so I did wonder whether I should move from where I was. But I found a really nice tramping spot. It was on the industrial estate, just a dead end. It was really quiet, and I stayed there for the night. So I'd finished looking for work by about 4:30. I'd finished driving by about 4:30. I was looking to about 5:30, but I wasn't too bothered about it. And I did look for work with my desktop for the morning. I reset my home location for where I was, and I thought I'll get up reasonably early in the morning and see what there is. And that was it. That's my day. So very short day, but a very nice. I found it a really pleasant day. Really pleasant day. Just really simple. It was one pallet. It was a ton of weight, and on my van, you stick the pallet on in my side door by my bulkhead in the centre of the van, and it goes down. Suspension goes down by quite a lot, but when I'm driving, you just can't tell it's on there. So I have to strap it down, and you can't tell it's that heavy. So it's a really decent van to take a ton, a 1 ton pallet on. So it's a nice little job to do. I've got plenty. If I had to tramp out with a pallet on, one pallet on I could do, but obviously on this occasion I didn't need to. And it was a really nice drive up, and really simple. No stops, just keep driving, and then you're done. And it wasn't like for the morning, so I didn't have to worry about it going for the morning. So it's pick it up the same day, drop off the same day, and it was a long wheelbase job. It was decent money, and I got to a really nice place in the country. So really one of the kind of best ways to earn a living that day. And the only issue, as it were, is what happens then the following day. How do you get work the following day? Well, this is the following day. I won't tell you about it yet, but I have got a job, which is I'm happy about. So I will leave it there. I hope that you are all being successful, however you choose to define that word for yourselves. I will have an update soon about my kidney dialysis that is coming to a cinema near you soon, and I will see you later on today probably. I hope today at the moment is half gone correctly. This has been Tuesday. Look at that bridge. Look at that. The sun comes out just in time. So that's the bridge over the Forth. I think. Pretty sure it is. I may be wrong. It's an amazing structure. So I'll keep the video going until I go over the bridge, and maybe I'll show you the water if I can do it safely. So thank you for listening to my video, and I will let you know how today goes later on. Right, so let me just run the video for a bit longer. You can see a bit of the bridge as I go over here. This is the Queen's Ferry Crossing, as it says on that big sign above my head. I didn't know that. I've seen it before, but I haven't remembered that. When I cross structures like bridges, or go under bridges, or even just this isn't the Forth Road Bridge, is it? Because maybe no, it's not. Well, yes, it is. Over there to my left is the famous Forth Road Bridge, or that in my youth was. It's like there's three bridges here now. There's a road bridge that I'm on. There's a road bridge that is newish to my left, and then there's like the classic. I'm assuming it's the railway bridge, but it might be a road bridge. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, it had a railway over it and a road over it. It was the original bridge to my left. I'm not going to turn this around because I'm driving. And it's the only thing I remember about that is in my sort of Blue Peter days when I was a youth, they would have. You would start painting the Forth Road Bridge, and then once I finish, you have to start painting it again. That's like the classic thing that some of my generation would know about that bridge. It was in those days it was a marvel. But anyway, yeah. So I'm not sure if that was very helpful, but I'm looking at some great. Oh yeah, I was saying wasn't I about bridges. Whenever I go to bridges, I always marvel at the amount of effort and ingenuity and just resources that go into creating these things that we hardly ever look at. Like to my left now, you've got these. I imagine they're metal rather than cables. They look like metal. What do you call them? Supports or suspension, and they're holding up this bridge. And there's like hundreds of them. They're massive, just to themselves. Just the one wire inverted commas that's holding up a bridge is just massive. Yeah, so I always appreciate a good bit of infrastructure. Anyway, so I've managed to waffle across the bridge, and I've got now a 42-minute journey to carry on. But I'll leave you to your day. Farewell, friends.